Did you know that Moses, the same man who stood before Pharaoh, split the Red Sea, and received the 10 Commandments, had a wife from Africa? It's a story tucked away in the book of Numbers, chapter 12, and yet it is one of the most powerful lessons about race, jealousy, family conflict, and God's justice. This is a story that rarely gets taught in church, but once you hear it, you'll never see Moses the same way again. We're in the wilderness years. Moses is carrying the weight of leading an entire nation through hardship, complaints, hunger, and constant pressure. But in the middle of all this, the Bible takes a surprising pause to tell us something personal. Moses married a Cushite woman. Cush was the name of an ancient kingdom in Africa, south of Egypt, covering parts of modern Sudan and Ethiopia. Cush was known for its wealth, its power, its warriors, and its beauty. So when the Bible highlights that this woman was Cushite, it is saying something significant. This was a black African woman, and she was the wife of Israel's greatest prophet. But not everyone was happy about this marriage. Enter Miriam and Aaron, Moses' older sister and brother. They weren't outsiders. Miriam was a prophetess who once sang victory songs after crossing the Red Sea. Aaron was the high priest, the one chosen to carry Israel's sacrifices before God. These were leaders, respected figures, pillars of the community. Yet Scripture says that they spoke against Moses because of the Cushite woman he had married. Think about that for a moment. They didn't complain about his policies. They didn't challenge his leadership decisions. They targeted his wife specifically because she was Cushite. This wasn't just a family disagreement. This was prejudice. This was jealousy. This was an attempt to tear Moses down by attacking the person he loved. They said, "Has the Lord spoken only through Moses? Hasn't he also spoken through us?" In other words, they wanted to undercut his authority, to question his special role, and they used his marriage as the excuse. But then comes the turning point. God hears their words, and he steps in. He doesn't ignore it. He doesn't let it slide. He calls Moses, Aaron, and Miriam to the tent of meeting, the sacred place where his presence dwells. Imagine the tension as the three siblings stand there, waiting for God to speak. Then the Lord comes down in a pillar of cloud and calls Aaron and Miriam forward. He says, "When I speak to other prophets, I reveal myself in visions and dreams, but not so with my servant Moses. With him I speak face to face clearly and not in riddles. He is faithful in all my house. So why then were you not afraid to speak against him?" In that moment, God defends Moses. He makes it clear that Moses is uniquely chosen and that their criticism is not only against Moses, but against God's own plan. And when the cloud lifts, Miriam's skin is leprous, white as snow. The one who criticized Moses' wife because of her ethnicity is now marked with a skin disease that forces her out of the community. Aaron is horrified. He turns to Moses, begging him not to hold their sin against them. He says, "Please, my Lord, do not let her be like a stillborn child." The same Aaron who joined in criticizing Moses is now pleading for mercy. And Moses, this is where we see his heart, doesn't gloat. He doesn't say, "See, that's what you get for attacking me." Instead, Moses cries out to God, "Please, God, heal her." That is leadership. That is forgiveness. He intercedes for the very sister who tried to tear him down. God answers, but not immediately. He says Miriam must remain outside the camp for 7 days. She faces consequence and humility, but she is not abandoned. After 7 days, she is restored, and the whole community waits until she returns before moving forward. Now let's reflect on what this story means. First, it shows that prejudice is not new. People have always struggled with judging others based on their race, their background, or who they love. Miriam and Aaron could not accept Moses' African wife, and they tried to disguise their prejudice as a spiritual complaint. Sound familiar? Even today, people often mask bias behind other arguments. This story exposes that behavior for what it really is. Second, it shows that God does not tolerate discrimination. He publicly defends Moses and, by extension, defends his wife. The judgment on Miriam wasn't random. It was a direct response to her words. God himself made it clear, you don't get to attack someone's identity or marriage and think it's okay. Third, it shows grace. Even after being criticized, Moses intercedes. He prays for Miriam's healing, showing that true leadership is not about revenge, but about mercy. And it shows that consequences and restoration can exist together. Miriam was disciplined, but she was also restored. That balance of justice and grace is powerful for us today. And finally, it shows the importance of Moses' wife. Though she is unnamed, her presence in Scripture matters. Her story forces us to confront issues of race, family conflict, jealousy, and God's justice. She may not speak, but she reveals volumes. She stands as a reminder that Africans were not outside the biblical story. They were right in the middle of it, shaping it in ways that still teach us today. So what does this mean for us now? It means that when we see prejudice or hear gossip aimed at someone's identity, we need to stop it. It means we should lead like Moses, interceding for people even when they hurt us. It means we should make room for restoration, not just cancellation. And it means we need to recognize that God is a defender of the marginalized, the overlooked, and the judge. Moses' Cushite wife may not have a name on the page, but her story still speaks. It speaks of love that crossed boundaries, of family drama that exposed hidden prejudice, and of a God who stepped in to defend his servant and silence injustice. It is ancient, but it is relevant. It tells us that God sees, God hears, and God still defends. If this story opened your eyes, remember that there are many more like it. Africans are not side notes in the Bible. They are part of the story of faith from the very beginning. From the Ethiopian official in Acts who carried the gospel back to Africa, to Ebed-Melech who risked his life to rescue Jeremiah, to the Queen of Sheba who tested Solomon with her wisdom and wealth. These are powerful, inspiring stories waiting to be told. And just like this one, they remind us that God has always been the God of all nations, all peoples, and all colors.